Hey everyone, welcome to Avian Games. Just Jack today, the better of the two halves between Chris and Jack. Bringing you a deck profile of one of my favorite new nostalgic, not really great, but fun Gaia decks. So I'm surprised that Konami even made this an archetype to begin with. It always had Gaia. It was an OG card from Yugi's deck, and then they made this archetype, and it's pretty cool. Pretty one-trick pony, I would say, but it has some cool stops to it. And it's really just an OTK deck. Try to go second and to win. But it's pretty fun, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna take you right into it. I'm not gonna really explain too much other than like the basic combo, and then there's some replays at the end that you can watch and to get the full swing of it. But mandatory 3 of Gaia the Magical Knight. He's gonna be on your board almost all the time, or your main search when you're getting cards. You want him pretty much always. Because if you normal or special summon him, you can special summon a level 5 dragon, and you can get him on the field without tributing, as long as your opponent controls a monster for 2,300 monsters, or you control no monsters. So he's pretty easy to get out going second. Then you got Cursed Dragon, the Cursed Dragon. I hate that name. We did a video on names that are stupid, and this is definitely one of the ones on it. He allows you to add, so you special summon him, and then he allows you to add a spell that has Gaia the Dragon Champion on it, which can be 2 cards that I think I run in here, which is Spiral Fusion and Spiral Spear Strike. Most of the time you're going to want Spiral Fusion if you don't have it in your hand already, but definitely 3 of that. The other dragon I run, if you don't have this or if you might have this in hand, or it comes up situationally, if this card is normal special summoned, you can destroy target one field spell, which is fine. I mean, that's a cool extra effect. But the real thing is that you can fusion summon from the extra deck using fusion materials, which is going to be just with this. So you get normal summon this, special summon this out, and then you can fusion summon into your extra deck Gaias. So kind of cool. Those are the main guys. Then there's the 2 Gaia the Fierce Knight Origins. He's really not that great of a card. You can be treated as 2 tributes. And then you can also send 1 level 5 or higher monster from your hand or the graveyard and special summon him. So he can be a special summon. I don't absolutely love him. He's fine. He's just another Gaia card to have in here. But I wish there was something else that was a little bit better instead of him. But that's why he's at 2. I don't really want to see him all that often, but he can come in handy. And then you run 3 Artillery Catapult. That's just going to get you exactly what you want for the Gaia card. So you get him, or if you need the Cursed Dragon, this gets negated or something like that. You can get a Cursed Dragon. So he's just another extra one of these guys basically. And then the last Gaia card I read is Lord Gaia the Fierce Knight. This is just basically Cyber Dragon. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then once per turn, if a monster with attack higher than this card is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can make this card gain 700 attack to the end phase. Kind of random second effect, but a little cool. He's just a free card. Sometimes it works out where it's like, oh, my opponent has 2,300. Well, I'll first do this to special summon him out, and then I can normal summon out the guy, the Magical Knight, and then special summon. So you just have another 2,300 on board if you fusion and then also have him on the board. So that's kind of cool. That's basically it for the monsters. That doesn't. I'm sure you could probably run something else from these Gaias. I don't like them. This one I think has to do with Blackluster Soldier, and that we don't run any of that stuff. And this guy also has to do with Blackluster Soldier, kind of useless to us. And then these are kind of like slow, so I don't know. I just don't like them all that much. But if I were gonna cut anything, it'd be this guy. I then run 3 Ash. Pretty good hand trap. Pretty standard. You could probably run anything there if you wanted. I just like Ash. That's all for the monsters. Then it's Spell Trap. As you can see, no traps, so just spells. 3 Extrav. You probably want to run Prosperity. I just can't afford it, so I run Extrav because it's more realistic. I own this deck in real life, like most of the decks I do profiles on. 3 Spiral Fusion. So this just fusion summon 1 Dragon Monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. And then if Gaia the Dragon Champion is summoned by this, you gains 2,600 attack, and it can make 2 attacks on each monster during the battle phase. So that's super important because it's going to get up to 5,600. Your big guy is going to get up to 5,600, and if you're able to get Spiral Spear Strike, we'll just go to that next. You can have your monster do piercing damage to your opponent. So that's kind of cool. And then there's a second effect that if you inflict battle damage, draw 2 cards and then discard 1. So you can get some hand advantage there. But so the full combo would be you fusion into one of these guys, With this, he gets to 56. They have 2 monsters on board while you have Spiral Spear Strike, and then you just attack and defense, and you're probably doing more than enough damage to get the OTK in. But that's the main combo. And then 2 Ultra Polys, just it's another fusion card that works, and your opponent can't activate cards in response, so that's kind of nice. And then it has that added effect of getting the materials from grave, so that's kind of cool. Just 2 of those. 1 Rhoda. The only thing you're going to be searching with Rhoda is Gaia, Gaia the Fierce Knight Origin. So really fine. Like I said, you don't really need to run 3 because you're also running that. But he's just another Gaia card, like I said. Set rotation. So there's a really cool combo with set rotation. There's 2 field spells in the deck. This searches you either Gaia Gaia card, or it searches you the level 5 dragon. Really helpful. And this one just searches a Gaia card. So the cool thing about set rotation is what you're going to do is you're going to put this card on your side of the field and this card on your opponent's side of the field. This is a mandatory effect. So if your opponent, if you set rotation them and put this on their side of the field, they cannot activate it if they do not have the means to activate it. They cannot flip it up and try to search Gaia if there's no Gaia in their deck. So basically you're locking them out of using their field zone with set rotation. So this is a definite 1 card you want to run of. It's super good in this deck specifically, but it's also just a good card for getting Gaia. So if you can just play it, you just search Gaia. Next, just the Change of Heart. I love that this was just unbanned. Another way to get cards inside of the field and take away your opponents. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, get rid of back row. You can also run Lightning Storm. Too expensive for me. Also, you're going second, so it's really not that bad. It's just honestly, you want to get rid of the spells and traps because you want monsters to be able to attack 2 of them. If you can get rid of 1 monster with a pop of some sort and then keep monsters on the field that won't disrupt your play, you want them to have stuff on their side of the field. So just want to get rid of the back row. So you can also do Twin Twisters. I have that down here. 1 Monster Reborn. You're fusion summoning a lot, so it's nice to just, if I use the materials and then Monster Reborn something, I get the if this is special summoned, you can then do this again, the whole combo, if you have another one of these in your hand. So just a Monster Reborn, pretty standard. You could put I also had Reasoning in here at one point because the levels are kind of wonky. There's a lot of spells though, so I found myself discarding a lot of spells. Terraforming for the 6 field spells. I mean, if you get the Terraforming can basically always get you going with any play. And then the last one that I really run that I haven't really explained is Book of Eclipse. You want your opponent's monsters to be in defense, and I know you could just do that Book of Moon, but I find materials are really helpful in this deck, so I really want my opponent to have everything face down. So a lot of the time I'll start my turn and then just I'll use this at the start of the turn and flip everything face down so he has no possible way to negate stuff if he has a negate on board, or he has to bait out the negate that I need to negate that instead of maybe something that actually gets my combo off. So I like this card a lot. I run in other decks. I think if you watch my Ruin profile, that's also in there. They get to draw at the end, which is kind of annoying, but this doesn't cost you a discard, which you might need in this deck because there's not a lot of ways to draw more cards other than the Extrav. But yeah, Spiral Spear Strike 2, 3 is a little too clunky, and then the 6 field spells that just search everything. So that's it for the main. The extra deck is pretty wide open. You can really do anything with these ones. The main ones are going to be these Bad Larrys. So this one is the main guy I usually go into. Once per turn during the main phase, you can target one other card in the field. This card loses 2,600, and if it does, destroy this card. And then when this card destroys a monster by battle, you can make this card gain 2,600. So pretty beat sticky. Like I said, I think I said earlier 56 twice. It's 56 and then 72. Is that the math on that? So you can do 56 into defense or 56 into a normal monster, then have a 72 to attack. So you're probably going for game if they have 2 monsters and you're able to get this out and they have no negation, which I know sounds like a big hurdle, but it does happen. I have replays. I could show you. And then the other one, I don't usually go into this one as much, but this one is good. You can add the Spiral Spear Strike. So if you don't get that, that's pretty helpful to have this card. And then when this one attacks an opponent's monster, you can change the battle position of that opponent's monster, so you can make them a defense monster. Maybe they have worse defenses. It's not bad. It's good. It's not. I think this one's better because this one has the pop effect. And I don't think I explained this, but when this is in graveyard, you can banish this quick effect. Banish this card from a graveyard, then target one monster on the field. The card gains its attack. Different than original attack, it becomes the original attack. So you can use the effect of this to lower it down to 0 and then just banish this off as a quick effect and get it back to the 26, or when it's higher or whatnot. So it's got, that's a slight combo you can do there. But then all these other ones, you can really make whatever. I just love Red Eyes Flare Metal. I think that's just a nice one to have your opponent just keep burning themselves while this is on the field. And these are just generic outs to stuff that, you know, if there's a monster on board I need to get rid of, or a spell I need to get rid of. This could be really anything. I think there's this guy, I don't usually go, I don't know why I would want to really go into him. He's fine. You could use 2 level 7s. There's no way to really go into a 5 or 6, so I can't really do that. And then it does the same piercing damage as all the other things, so I'd just rather these. I guess with Extrav or Pot of Prosperity, it might be nice to run that in here just to have extra targets for it, but I never really came into the to banishing all of them in a game where it was like, okay, I guess I'd lose because I can't do it. But yeah, that's the deck. It's pretty fun. It's really one trick pony, but I really like it because of nostalgia, and it's fun. It's a nice thing to try, and you should try it out too. So check out these replays. If you like the video, tell me. If you don't like it, tell me. If there's questions. I've seen a few people in the last few videos leave me questions about why I run certain cards. I love talking about that with people, so feel free to put anything you want. But check out these replays, and thanks for stopping by.